in Wisconsin connected to high-speed internet. And while the federal funding will help bolster our efforts, we still have much more work to do to close the digital divide in our state. With a historic state surplus available, this should be a priority because the longer it takes to get everybody connected, the more costly it will be for our state to catch up. We're going to keep working to make sure high-speed internet is accessible and affordable for our kids to learn, our families to get connected to the resources like healthcare, and for employers and workers to keep our economy growing. Thank you. Back to you, Robert, and Native Roots Radio.
Hey, thank you, Governor of the great state of Wisconsin. We are now live on Facebook and YouTube. We had it muted there a little bit, Haley, but we got a couple great guests on that we've had on before, and we're really excited to hear about what they're doing and what kind of opportunities are out there. And so I'd really love if you guys could introduce yourself and talk to our audience out there in the great, where are we here? The Midwest.
Hello, my name is Waubun Smith. I am the co-chair of the Indigenous Employee Resource Group at the Department of Transportation, and I am an enrolled White Earth member and Navajo.
Wow,
right from St. Paul.
Hey, St. Paul, the capital city. We love the capital city here, even though we're out in the suburbs of Prairie Island. I am from St. Paul, so welcome, Waubun.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having us. I am Inyan Walking Elk. I'm also a member of MnDOT's Indigenous ERG, and I'm an enrolled Crow Creek Dakota, but I'm also Hopi and Southern Tsitsis and Hinonai.
Welcome, you two. And there's so many opportunities. We're going to be talking a little bit about MnDOT, and we've been running ads, and it's exciting what we have out there for our Native community and everybody listening too. There's work out there to be done, and what a beautiful way to have a career that you could be with for most of your life. And I know that's important in a lot of different ways. Waubun, what do we got out there? How can our people listening reach out to you, and what kind of job opportunities are out there that would be awesome for us?
So, as you said, we've been running some news ads, some ads. I did have a recording with an ad, and I did place a number out there for the people. You can go to our career website on MnDOT.gov careers, and we'll have a list of our open positions along with Lena Garcia's phone number. I believe I said that on the ad. I'm not quite sure. I didn't get the okay with her to give out her phone number on this
Cool.
interview. Sorry.
No problem, Waubun. Can we talk just a little bit before we get going too deep into this? Is like, how important is this to have representation here in the state of Minnesota with these job opportunities? I think it's kind of groundbreaking what you two are doing here statewide.
Yes, we are working to establish here at MnDOT as an employer of choice for the Indigenous populations. We try to provide a platform for the community-based educational programming guidance and a space for employees to share ideas in support of MnDOT's visions and the processes of the Indigenous employees that work within MnDOT and within our employee resource group.
Yeah, definitely. And I want to get our other guest in here too. How important do you feel like it is where we have representation here? And I think it's really important, and it's really cool to see you younger warrior women here leading the way in MnDOT in many different ways.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice to hear being called a younger warrior, but it's really important. And I think we talk, and to use like some of the buzzwords in our community, we talk a lot about resiliency, and we talk a lot about inclusion. And this is one way, we're doing it, where I look at it like whatever we do that talk about burdens and things that happen before us, whatever we do to make things easier for that next generation. And us being here, and sometimes, yeah, we have to get put on the spot and we have to carry that load of teaching people about ourselves, even though sometimes we just want to be. But we're here to do that. We've put ourselves out there for that. And I guess personally for me, I have daughters, I have a son, and I want them to go to work one day and not have to focus on being so resilient and not call certain places the belly of the beast. I want them to go to work and just get to be. So it's really important for us to be there.
Right. And I think too, the other side of that too is that it's really important that you're there to help us maneuver through this system too. Because again, a lot of times we talk about systems that aren't made for us. And so whether it's birth certificates, applying correctly, you help with those things too, right?
We try. You're muted, Waubun.
Sorry about that. we try to give them resources. So we do community outreach. We do, I don't know if you've seen our faces within the community, like during certain open houses, our community events, we try to make a presence there, and we do try to get resources for employees that do come to MnDOT as employees and join our resource group. We try to give them resources as much as possible. So.
Yeah, that's exciting. Can you guys hold on? I think we're kind of just getting into the tip of the iceberg here, and we want to really have you speak your truth. And what I want to do is I want to basically turn the show over to you and have you talk about what you want to talk about. I think that's important, and it's always really important for our community to be able to speak and not have me directed in a way. So when we come back, I'd like you guys to speak your truth and really give a good synopsis and overview of what we're looking for and what you guys are looking for, if you wouldn't mind. Hey, you're listening to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and we'll be right back after this short break.
Stay with us.
Oh, wow.
We are Hallucination. When we heal from our traumas,
when we face our fears,
let go of our addictions,
when we relearn our values,
when we live our teachings,
respecting our elders,
cherishing and honoring our children,
when we honor and take care of our spirit,
there will be no room left for sexual violence.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
At Metro State University, change the world your way. Students learn from expert instructors in high-demand degree programs including healthcare, technology, cybersecurity, teaching, and business. As one of the most diverse universities in Minnesota, Metro State is a learning community dedicated to equity, inclusion, and anti-racism. Explore 60-plus high-quality bachelor's degree programs at Metro State University's open house events in person October 17th and online October 19th. Sign up at metrostate.edu/open house. Know your power. Metro State University.
Minnesotans age 65 plus might qualify for Health Partners Minnesota Senior Health Options. The plan includes personal support, coverage for medical, prescription drugs, and dental, plus over 30 extra benefits. Eligibility information is available at healthpartners.com/oneplan. Health Partners is a health plan that contracts with both Medicare and the Minnesota Medical Assistance Medicaid program to provide benefits of both programs to enrollees. Enrollment in Health Partners depends on contract renewal.
Turn to Auto Technical with your vehicle donation. Even though Auto Technical is a small nonprofit, we have helped more families with transportation than any organization in Minnesota. Since '94, we have reconditioned donated vehicles so they have a higher tax benefit. Call Richard at 612-919-5526, 612-919-5526, or autotech.org.
Anine, I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
We are Hallucination.
Hey, welcome back to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by J.S. Bean Factory off Randolph Avenue in St. Paul. Native owned, bringing us the best coffee, keeping us awake.
I am awake, and I love that coffee. Remember Steve's blend?
Yes.
I always say that it gets me in a good way fired up.
In a good way.
Yeah. So if I ever have to do any like protesting, or anything like that, I go to Steve's Coffee because it keeps me going. Hey, we got a couple great guests here, and I wanted to ask you before we let you speak your truth and what you want to talk about. I wanted to ask you, each one of you, start with Waubun. How did you start this journey working with MnDOT, and how's that really progressed over the years, and how'd you hear about your job?
Well, I started with MnDOT when I went to my workforce counselor. I believe she was the same work counselor as Ia, but I got through MnDOT. I started working at MnDOT through a work program. Great program. I was a single mother, obviously working to get off the system. And I was actually selected or picked out by Alicia to apply for the position that they were posted because of my skill set. So I applied. And, like the normal Native American, Indigenous, First Nation person doesn't really want to be working for the government. I did have a bias, and I was thinking when she was telling me you should apply for this, you're the perfect person. I believe your skills, you'll do great. I was agreeing with her, but then I was also thinking in the back of my head, like, yeah, I'm not going to get this position. I'll apply, but, I was already in that pathway of like just already being, denied certain things that I want to go after. So when I applied, I got the interview, I did the interview, and I was, given the position. I accepted it, and I was kind of iffy about it, but getting into the position and finding out how actually it works, it kind of changed my mindset. So I started back in 2011, 2012 in the Office of Finance as an administrative assistant. So from there it took off, and it's been challenging to work all these years with different people, different supervisors, different leaders, and it really is very reflective of who you are, how you were raised, and what direction you're going to take your life. That's how it worked out for me. So.
Well, that's awesome. And you've been there for over 12 years, and that says a lot right there.
Yes.
Ms. Walking Elk, how did you start?
Hi, I have a similar story to Waubun's. I was living in St. Paul at the time. It was probably 2010, 2011. And I was trying to work my way. I was a single mom. I had a new baby, and I worked with Alicia Smith at the American Indian Family Center, and Jenny Thompson, some really amazing Native ladies, and Barb Fairbanks. They're all amazing at what they do, and they really, really do want people to be better. And it came across similar to Waubun's story. It was a temporary position, like a foot in the door, if you will, is kind of how it was sold to me. I got all excited. I got all fixed up. Did my job interview. Didn't get the job. So I was just, I was like, oh, okay, well, that was cool. Now it was better prepared, I guess, for more job interviews. And as I like to call it luck, but maybe fate would have it, the person actually ended up withdrawing from the position. So they ended up asking me to take it. I got in there temporarily on a 3-month contract at the Department of Human Services. Got to know a lot of people, helping with anything. They had a backlog of things I was working on. And I met other people who said, hey, there's a position at DOT. Are you interested? And I truthfully didn't know what I was interested at the time, but I knew I wanted to work and learn. So I accepted. It was another temporary position, but it was a foot in the door, and that was over 12 years ago. Wow. So kind of bounced around a little bit with different positions. I worked as an executive assistant to the state engineer. He soon realized I wasn't the best assistant. Just kidding. He I moved within my office, so I worked as an extraordinary enforcement coordinator, basically hiring highway patrol and work zones. And then I went back to school for a little while, and now I'm a discrimination investigator. And I've been here for about 5 years. So it impacted my path, but it also it gave me new pathways, I guess you could say, to apply my skills and my knowledge. But that same conflict, I think it's really important. What Waubun brought up is that we didn't grow up thinking, well, one day I'm going to work for the Department of Transportation. We actually didn't probably think much at all about the Department of Transportation, or transportation for that matter, unless it was like going to a powwow or something. But we it's like a really big place. There's so much more depth to it, like with anything else. But yeah, so it's clearly we're doing okay there. We've both been there for quite some time.
Yeah, you have. And can I correct you? I think you had your moccasin in the door, not the foot in the door.
Yeah. Yep. My humpa in the door.
Well, yeah, both you've been there a long time. And what kind of advice could you give somebody that's wanting to apply? Because it seems like your expectations were maybe a little vague, and then you just followed your nose into different kind of opportunities that MnDOT gave you.
It's very rough. You have to have some tough skin. You can't take things personally, because there's going to be a lot of people that will challenge you and test your patience and just push your buttons, because it seems like that's all they seem to do when I started. And it was like, I'm not going to allow these people to run me off when I'm trying to make a better life for myself, and not only for myself, but future, my, life beyond mine, my legacy, leave my legacy in good. Yeah. So it is very challenging. It comes with its ups and downs. You do have to have thick skin. You can't take everything personally, and you just got to keep in mind that you're applying and you're doing the job or a career for yourself and your future.
Right. But once you got your position, then you have more, I don't know if control's the right word, but you have more capacity to do a good job and find your own path.
Yes.
And that's really cool. Could you tell us a little bit about your job, Miss Walking Elk? Because your title sounds pretty interesting there, and I imagine at times you're very busy.
Yeah, we've had some, if you can imagine, over the past 5 years, we've had some busy times, or over the past couple of administrations. And yeah, it's interesting work. So what we do is we do have an EEO function, and I'm not speaking on behalf of my office, but just about my position. But we have an equal opportunity EEOC type of function, where most of our team is federally trained EEOC investigators. So we handle any internal employment investigations or issues that come up that are related to discrimination. So I didn't think I would end up in this field, but it is pretty interesting I grew up in Pipestone, Minnesota, most of my life, and a big chunk of my life in the cities, but I consider Pipestone, Minnesota my home. And and Pipestone there's a lot of cultural happenings and things going on there that can make you feel like it's literally they have a painting there that says the crossroads of the Indian world. And it can make you feel like that. And you look around with a sense of identity and belonging. But like Waubun said, working here, although I love my job and the challenges that come with it, it can test you sometimes when you're a Native person who's very who you are and you know where you come from, and you see what's going on with state governments and things like that. But also to kind of piggyback on that a little bit more, but there are things we can do, like check discrimination and bad behaviors and things like that, and try to correct them and change them. And am I changing the world? No, but I feel like I'm affecting some positivity here for people who need to have a good experience at work.
Well, yeah, and you are changing the world. I've always told brand new teachers when I was teaching in high school that you're going to change somebody's life. You just might not ever know whose life you're changing. So I believe when you're advocating for, especially for natives, you are changing people's lives and people's perspective too, because I feel like a lot of the old guard is leaving. And I just spoke at the University of Minnesota today, and these young ones are pretty hip, and they want to learn about, the atrocities that happened to us over the last 500 years because it's not being taught in school.
That's true too. And I think that the IERG itself, it does give natives like a home base at work. And even if you're up north or in Pipestone or somewhere like that, you can reach out. And there's so many natives that have worked here for so long, and we didn't even know that they were there. There's so many different offices, and with the creation of the group and the establishment of it and the existence of it, they actually have joined us, and it's created a community.
Wow, that's great. Hey, we got one more segment with you. We're really excited to have you two on and talk about your journey and also opportunities out there for us all. Hey, you're listening to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and I'm Robert Pilot, and I'm here with Haley, and we're holding down the flagship station here at AM 950, and we're going to be right back after this short break.
Stay with us.
Oh,
Be a vaccinative. It's time to come together and talk about the urgent need to stay up to date on COVID-19 vaccinations to protect our heritage, our loved ones, and our future. Throughout history, we have always faced challenges, and today we must protect our culture and loved ones. This is our opportunity to ensure that our tribal gatherings once again resound with joy and celebration, where the echoes of our ancestors guide our steps. It's a chance to care for our elders, cherishing their wisdom and stories for generations to come. COVID-19 vaccines are safe and effective. Let us unite, resilient as ever, and show the world the strength of the Native American community. Together, we shape a future where our traditions thrive, our children learn from our ancestors, and our people flourish once more. So be a vaccinative and learn more about staying up to date with your COVID vaccinations at health.state.mn.us. That's health.state.mn.us. This message is brought to you in partnership with the Minnesota Department of Health.
You work hard for every cent you make. You have bills and you have goals. Choose a bank that's going to support you along the way. That's Fair Financial Banking. No overdraft fees, no minimum balance, no credit score required. Call 651-262-2173 to talk to a Fair Financial enroller to open your account today. Keep more of your money. That's fair. Fairfinancial.org. FAIR is a program of Prepare Plus Prosper, a nonprofit organization, and is not a bank. Banking services are provided by Sunrise Banks N.A., member FDIC.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl. J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
The Mary T family of companies serves seniors and people with a wide range of disabilities. We provide home health care, hospice services, and accessible rental housing. This is Mary T, and we'd like you to join us. We're hiring direct care professionals, CNAs, nurses, and other support services. Our mission is to provide quality, personalized services to meet the unique and evolving needs of the people that we serve. Join a Minnesota family-owned company that was founded on a history of care. Apply today at marytinc.com/careers.
I'm Rachel Schroman, owner of Schroman Law, and I believe you deserve information. Our firm offers free quarterly estate planning seminars at our office in St. Paul. At these seminars, you can learn the basics of estate planning from an attorney to help you determine which estate planning documents will meet your needs and goals in an efficient and cost-effective manner. You can learn more and register at our website, schromanlaw.com/events. That's SCHROMEN law.com/events.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for clear skies tonight with a low around 60. Friday, a chance for thunderstorms with a high near 78. And Saturday, partly cloudy with a high near 79. Don't just settle for what's in the cupboard. Elevate your meals with premium oils and vinegars from Vinaigrette. They offer the finest selection of extra virgin olive oils, balsamic vinegars, fused extra virgin olive oils, white balsamic vinegars, and wine vinegars. Vinaigrette is located at 50th and Xerxes in Minneapolis. More at vinaigrettemn.com.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
We are Elusive Nation.
Hey, welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Yes, they do. And later on in the show, we're going to have Dr. Stately on to check in for a quick segment. But we are here with two young warriors, because I said that, because I'm old. I'm a baby elder, so I have to say young warriors that are working for MnDOT and have over a period of time. And also, you sound like you've paved the way in a good way and made room for more Native Americans to work for MnDOT. And so I'm excited to hear some more things here. Waubun, what do we have for job openings? Are we... Is it a plethora of many things, or is it just get on that website and see what you like?
Yes, there's many open positions, like different positions. When you think of MnDOT, you think of plow trucks, obviously, and there's like
right.
a wide range of everything. So we got business development coordinator, electrician, master of records. And these are throughout the whole state of Minnesota. So it's not only here in the central, Minneapolis, St. Paul vicinity, it's throughout the entire state. So it's as far as like Wilmer or Roseville, and out of our districts, Fergus Falls, we have transportation specialists and transportation generalists. We also have like audits and investigation supervisors and administrative assistants. We also do like student workers as well, civil rights, construction inspectors, assistant mechanic shop supervisors. So there is a whole lot of open positions. You would just have to go on our website. And then once again, that is mn.gov/careers. And it's open search for open positions. And it's that link will take you to the state agency website. So it's not only MnDOT, it's all state agencies throughout the state of Minnesota. But you can choose Department of Transportation, and it will give you a list of open positions that we have here at the Department of Transportation. And then there's also a lot of other open positions within the other different state agencies. You could be like a general labor worker that works for the administration building, working on the land and gardens and stuff like that. So there's
for a second when you paused general, I thought, well, I want to be a general. But what's really, in all seriousness, what's really exciting and important, and you too could probably speak of this better, is that a benefit for working for the state, there's many benefits, whether it's retirement, whether it's healthcare, whether it's paid vacation, those things that, and then it also sounds like too that there's movement within too. You don't have to be stuck with a certain job, and you can apply in other departments.
Yes, there is a lot of benefits. There's, not like you said, not only your pension, you get your benefits, you also have the option of saving outside of your pension. There's another also benefit that you are a union worker. I'm in AFSCME, and I get to go to college because the union pays for my college. So there's another benefit. So there's a lot of benefits, health benefits, everything. So.
That's huge, and I want to get back to Miss Walking Elk here, and that is really interesting. I forgot that you were union, and I'm a former union person too, as a high school teacher. That's so important for bargaining and all those things to stay within a living wage and also health care. How important is the union to you?
Very, and not just because of my philosophies on work and the history of unions in this country, but I also have a daughter with special needs, and she was born with a very rare health condition. And I will say, when times got tough, like, it was really nice to have those benefits for my daughter. It's nice to have a long-term employment to utilize things like FMLA to take care of her, to take care of my family. And then the state of Minnesota also offers paid parental leave, and that's for any parent. That's for adoption. So dads now are allowed to take time off with their new baby. Families that adopt are allowed to take time off and be paid for it, not have that come out of their bank, their personal bank. So there's definitely a lot of benefits especially with COVID, and now we're recognizing like we're in a new work environment. We've had to evolve, and MnDOT's evolved right along with other employers, and that flexibility allows for a lot for your family. If you have little ones, if you have grandkids, and we're natives, we're all about family.
Yeah.
Like family, community gatherings, and things like that. And that's one thing we've tried to integrate in our group, is those, not just those like fringe benefits and things like that, but also those human benefits, like making space, like, come on, let's get together and we're going to go out to eat, but we're going to go out to eat at gatherings. We're not going to go to McDonald's or some Olive Garden or something like that, but bringing that back to the community. So I think those are all benefits, I would say.
That's really important. And on a funny note, I see you're able to work out of your car. Oh, wow, just kidding.
I had to call Haley before this because I locked myself out of my office. I was like, is it okay to be in the car? So I locked myself out of my office. You can't.
No, I knew that. I was just making fun because you said that since COVID, we're I don't know. I think I'm cracking myself up, but we got to get back serious here. Hey, so what kind of hours do you work? I mean, and is it a 9 to 5 job, or is there various hours? Is there opportunities? I think you mentioned there's certain jobs for students too, and they have jobs during the week or maybe the summer, or can you tell a little bit about that?
I think that very depends on your supervisor, but most likely it's 8 to 5, the normal 9 to 5, like you said, 9 to 5. We got people that come in from 6 o'clock that leaves at 2. We got the students that come in throughout the year. It works with their schedule depending on what their schedule is. I work 8:30 to 5. And I do have flexibility. If I have to take some time off during the day for my kids, I could take time off and then make it up. Other than that, I utilize vacation or sick time. But it's really up to the supervisor. So it's basically is 9 to 5, 8 to 5. But for the plow truck drivers, I believe they have a completely different schedule.
Sure.
What's interesting too, I'm just feeling this way about our interview and speaking today. I feel like it's a lot of, we're still here kind of things, and opportunities for our people to take advantage of these things that maybe weren't, as you said earlier, were made for us or were welcoming for us. And now it's more welcoming, and with, glass ceiling, people like you breaking the glass ceiling and having more representation of natives in this kind of really opportunity. It's a game changer for people, whether it's medical or just long term.
It definitely is. And I shout out to the natives who worked here before us, because there were few of them and they had to be so tough to hang in there, just for the simple fact that was only a handful of them. And never mind all the other, forces that make
Right.
work challenging, especially for a government. But yeah, there was some older natives who were getting ready to retire when our group formed. And one of them was from Red Lake, and her name was Karen Badu. And she sat us down and she said, don't quit. They're going to make you want to quit. They're going to make you want to leave, and you hang in there. And man, I think we all carry those words with us because she read our minds. There were times when it gets tough anywhere. But when you're Native people, there's just a unique, isolation can feel really different for Native people. It's like another level, not to discount anyone else's experience. But I think those older ones, they paved the way, and
yes,
we appreciate them so much.
Wow, that's a really, really good point. Waubun, what are your thoughts on that too? I imagine they're very, very similar.
I'm 100% with Ia. Like she said, when our group first started, they sat us down and they told us strictly what, that they thought it was a good idea, that we were coming up and we were taking over, and not to quit. And it's very, just recently, oh my God, this past year, just a whole bunch of challenges came upon, my life. So I'm very glad I work in an organization that is very, I'm not going to say very understanding, but I do like my supervisor. I do like my unit. I do like how flexible I can have my schedule, and I like the benefits and what MnDOT, or the state agency, provides for a single mother like myself, to continue on doing what I'm doing to get to where I need to be for the future of my kids and continue on with them.
Well, Waubun, I think they become more understanding when you have a union backing you up, and I think they have to be understanding. So there's a lot to that too. It's I really agree. And again, being a baby elder, you guys are young warriors leading the way here, and doing it in a good way. And I really, really appreciate you two stopping in, and we have to do this more often because your stories are compelling.
Yes.
And I want to see what Miss Walking Elk's office looks like next time too. Oh, just kidding.
I know. That's what I get. This is what I get, because just earlier I was putting up my big lacrosse poster so that could be in the background because I just love lacrosse. And now you guys are looking at the headset and my son's car seat. So
yeah. Well, I want to thank you two really so much for stopping in, and your compelling story, which really, I've said that just again, but it's really, I didn't expect this in this interview, and there's a lot of good things that not only the state's doing, but the union backing the state workers, and you guys leading the way. So let's get you back on the show again real soon.
Definitely, we will most likely be grateful to come back. So
most likely. I like that. That's really, you're really committed to coming back, but I see what you mean. Hey, thank you so much, Peeny Gigi. Really, it's been my pleasure. And you are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. And up next, Dr. Stately. Ho-wah.
Bonjour, hello. My name is Waubun. I am an enrolled member of the White Earth Nation, descendant of the Navajo Nation, and co-chair of the Indigenous Employee Resource Group with the Minnesota Department of Transportation. MnDOT is hiring for a variety of positions from road maintenance to accounting and more. We offer great benefits. For more information or to set up a one-on-one resume and application assistance, visit mn.gov/careers, or you can text or call 612-257-2388. 612-257-2388.
Back to school season is here. And while this is an exciting time for parents, kids, and educators, let's not forget how far we've come in our battle against COVID-19. We're in a better place, but COVID-19 is still here, and we need to continue to help protect our communities. With the flurry of new schedules and classrooms, let's not overlook the fundamentals of staying safe. Wash your hands regularly and watch for any symptoms like fever, chills, a cough, or shortness of breath. Should you or someone you know have COVID-19 symptoms, stay home and get tested. Find more tips on continuing to be safe at health.state.mn.us. Let's have this back to school season be a time of renewed commitment to our collective health and brighter future for our Native communities. Again, find more tips on continuing to be safe at health.state.mn.us.
This message is brought to you in partnership with the Minnesota Department of Health.
J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. This is Spirit from Reservation Dogs. Get up and listen.
Hey, welcome back to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
Good one, Dr. Stately. Hey, we're here with Dr. Stately, CEO of Native American Community Clinic, and I got to pause there because sometimes I mess that up. Good howling, and I just talked to Bobby Wilson, and he'll be on the show next week. Maybe we should get you on there with him.
Oh, nice. I love that.
And we can have a swear fest because Bobby likes to swear.
Oh,
well, we can beep it out, you know?
My favorite, yeah. My favorite. Did you like that howl? I even gave you like the little Ojibwe
snarl.
The lip curl.
The snarl, definitely. Wow. Well, so we come out, we're here in Eden Prairie, and we're like, I guess just 5 minutes from your home that we've never been invited to.
Well, 5 minutes if you drive past like I do. It's probably more like 15.
Well, I've just experienced my Chujunks driving because she drove today, and it would have took us 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Pray for me on the way home.
Yeah.
I'm not bad.
Yeah. Did you put up the quotes? I will. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I want to give a shout out. As Robert said, we were at the U of M earlier today, and just want to give a big shout out to Dr. Diane Cormany, professor of journalism and communications at the University of Minnesota Twin Cities campus. Big Pinagigi for inviting us out to speak with your class today. I know Robert and we had a great time being back at our old stomping grounds, both being
Gophers
graduates. Yes.
Go Gophers.
Go Gophers.
Go Gophers. And I work with a lot of people from Wisconsin, so I get to say go Gophers.
Oh, that's awesome. Sounds like a lovely day. I don't know if you knew this, but I was a journalism major when I was at McAllister.
That's right.
College.
That's right.
Way back in the day when you still typed your news articles on typewriters.
What about the do you remember the paper that you could sniff with the ink?
Yeah.
What was that called? The
mimeograph.
Mimeograph.
Yeah. So you like printed your newspapers like this.
Yeah.
By
And they were
hand.
all blue.
Yeah, that's how I got my buff arms when I was really young.
Oh, geez, that's how I started sniffing glue. But that's another that's another show, isn't it? That'll be our chemical dependency show that we do.
Like the beginnings of your chemical dependency.
Right.
Your research and development career.
Right. Well, Dr. Stately, it's interesting we got you on here for the last part of the show, and are there any updates happening here? I guess a COVID update of some sort?
Well, a couple community updates are really critical. We're having the full moon ceremony here. I think it's tonight.
Yeah, it'll be tomorrow, Friday. September 29th at 7.
Yep. So NACC sponsors a full moon ceremony every single month. Our honor around the full moon. Actually, this full moon is actually the last what is it called? Not the blue moon, but the super moon.
Harvest?
The super moon. And they said that it'll be possibly so cloudy that you won't be able to see it. And I think it's actually tonight, but our ceremony is tomorrow. And hopefully there'll be clear skies and it'll be warmer. So you'll be able to see that big, huge moon. It's supposed to be significantly larger. And then, but we do that every single month. That's the ceremony that we sponsor for Native women in and around the Twin Cities who, just want to kind of be in a space and get some healing around their reproductive and some lessons and some learnings as well, some teachings, our traditional teachings around taking care of your women's health.
Speaking at the U, and we were talking about some generational stuff, and I was all really excited because I really feel like Gen Z is going to save us in many different ways, because our families have been drugged through things like residential schools, and all these bad things have happened, and so a couple generations, we've lost our language, we've lost a lot of things. But I feel really strong about now and moving forward, and things that you're doing and that our Gen Z people are really open to.
Yeah, a lot of our young people today are really focusing their efforts on, learning their language, recovering their knowledge and their ancestral knowledge, the wisdom of our elders. They're really taking a lot of intentional approach to that. I think that's going to really help our community heal from some of these historical losses. One of the things that I think was most fundamentally and just made a big, huge impact on me. I was talking about historical trauma one day, and we were on a workshop, myself and my nephew Ruben was on it as well. And he made this comment. He said, I know we talk a lot about the Dakota War. We talk about all these things that have happened that impact us traumatically in our history. He said, and I want to just remind everybody, yes, we have trauma in our DNA that we pass down, but we also have strength and resilience. He goes, and one of the things that was really profound about his comment, he said, the U.S. Dakota War and all the things that happened to us as a result of that is such a small amount of time that we've been on this planet. We have, as Dakota people, we've been here for 10, 12, 14,000 years. So 100 years of that time is very, very small. Right. So let's not try to forget that. Let's try to remember, the strength and the beauty and the resilience we carry with our ancestors as well. And we carry that into the generations today and not forward for the next 7. And we can pull ourselves out of these things.
Yeah, really good point too. And I want to remind too and I talked a little bit about to the students too, is that everyone's been colonized. At one time, Irish people believed in earth and sky, just like natives, but we're like the last holdouts in the resilient part too. But everyone has to remember that they came from a lot of the same teachings that Native Americans have, but have lost it through colonization and war or whatever.
Yeah. Well, indigenous people all over the planet have, been colonized. A lot of them have, even, many of the people who say it, like I'm a white person or I'm white people or I'm American, right? Mm-hmm. The process and the intent of colonization is to strip you of your history and your knowledge about who you were and who you came from and where you came from, and that relationship to place, land, your community, your people, your nationhood, your history, your ancestors. It's intended to make you think forget about all that. What's important is this shiny new thing I'm putting in front of you right now.
Wow, right? Really good point. And I've read that I don't even know if it was the 1910s or even later in the 40s that there was not a white group of people. They were Italians, Irish. And then all of a sudden they globbed them into one race, as you're kind of saying, and then it's us against them, as opposed to like-minded thinking people of different communities. So it's been intentional.
Yeah, there's a really great book by, I think her name is Nell Painter, called The History of White People. Mm-hmm. It's a great book to read to understand the historical context, the intention. Race is a social construct. It isn't even based in genetics or anything. And so it was based in eugenics, and it was based in the intentional idea that there's a supreme race and there's less supreme races. And then so that's a lot of what got embedded in sort of the doctrines of discovery and the manifest destiny and those things. The idea that there's a supreme race, an Aryan race that deserves supremacy and kind of controls the earth and all of its bounty, right? So
Right. Well, we got 1 minute left here. Dr. Stately, really appreciate you driving all the way out here. And we have a show coming up here that will be played this weekend, and you're a big part of it. And we're excited to have you here tonight to record that. And to everyone out there, if you're listening to the show, you are part of the resistance from Chief Plenty Coops. The ground which we stand on is the sacred ground. It's the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, join a group, run for office, vote. We're still here. We are the 7th generation.
And free Leonard Peltier.
Now.
now.